So, here's the situation. I made a video about Book of Yog. I released it like what? Yesterday. I got a comment from the Book of Yog official channel. I checked it. It is their official channel. This is a very small game. I probably should have done more research about it. It's a very small game with very small... I don't know if it's like a team or if it's like one person. But it's a very small group. At the very least, it's a very small group. And I got a comment from the official YouTube channel, which I did not expect. Now, let me point something out. I am a nobody. I am just a random guy on the internet who likes to play gacha games. The only thing that I can proudly say is that I play a lot of gacha games, which is not something to be proud of. It's something to be ashamed of. But it is a fact. I have a lot of gacha belts under my belt. I've played a lot of them. When I see a new gacha game, I generally already know what to expect. When I see the story, I generally know what's coming. I'm just very used to playing gachas, seeing their stories, and seeing like how they're just different, slight variations of each other. I'm just, at the end of the day, someone who's just playing games to have fun. Just to clarify, this is not an attack at the game, the developers, or anyone that plays the game. The comment was very polite, very respectful, and this was more me trying to make a better explanation and of my opinion, because I felt that my video reaction was perhaps a bit too critical with not that many solutions. So this video is going to be more about what was going through my mind, how my reaction was, what was really the things that I just didn't like, and then at the end is going to be things I want to say about what can be improved and what I would change to slightly improve some of the issues that I have with the game. This is all in fun. I have no beef with the game. I hope the game succeeds, and I hope the game has a bright future and improves greatly as time goes on. Now, I did kind of talk shit a little bit about the game. Now, not that much. I'll be honest, I didn't talk as much shit, but especially around the end of the video, my tone starts getting a little bit more depressing, and I do start talking considerably more negative about the game. But that was just how I was feeling. I'm not going to pretend and say that, actually in reality was the game is good. What I felt at the time was very underwhelming and disappointment feeling. The context of me playing the game was simple. Due to reasons, I was looking for a gacha to kind of just stream and pass time. You know, kind of have time, some fun. So I went to a YouTuber that I normally go to, but like they have lots of news about gacha, and generally when I want to check out what new gachas there are or dramas and whatnot, that's generally the channel that I go to. So I went to his channel and I found this video here, which is worst gacha of all time, Book of Yog. I watched it on stream, and while I was watching this video, the game Book of Yog looked familiar to me. And because it looked familiar to me, I went to check my Steam, and there it was. I had Book of Yog in my library. I played Book of Yog back when it first came out, and I played it for like almost an hour, and then I kind of left it, and I forgot about it. So, with that, I decided, hey, he's talking bad about the game. It doesn't look that bad to me. Let me go check it out myself and see how bad it really is. Like, it can't be that bad. It looks fine to me. So, I went to the game. Right? We don't need this anymore. Get out of here. So I went to the game. And let me put it this way. In terms of visuals, the game is not bad. Like, it looks good. Is this a new one? This is a new character. In terms of visuals, the game doesn't look bad. Right? You know, it's a gacha game, obviously. It's an idle game. I can't complain an idle game for being an idle game. I didn't show any gameplay, by the way, in the video, because overall, the gameplay is just non-existent. You know, it's an idle game. The gameplay is this, right? I'm gonna show it because I didn't show it in the video, but like the gameplay is just an idle game. The game plays by itself. You just set up the team, and it just goes by itself, right? As you can see, like it's playing by itself. The characters are using their abilities. They're clearing out. You can kind of grab these chests if you're paying attention, which, you know, for an idle game, it's kind of weird to have that mechanic where, you know, it's a game that you're supposed to kind of just leave in the background and not care. But there's a mechanic there that rewards you for paying attention. I mean, that's fine, you know. Like, if you're paying attention, you could kind of... Oh, that was another chest there. Fuck. I missed that chest. But, you know, it's like, okay. That's the gameplay. As you can see, it's just... Auto battler. It goes... They go around. They kill enemies. Summon boss. Fight boss. Go to next one. Accumulate treasure. Level up. As you can see, get all this stuff. Feels nice. Get dopamine. Upgrade your units from here. Like this. Make yourself stronger. Sure. This is, like... For an idle game, this is also not a bad idea. Like, most idle games require you to have to walk outside and level your characters in the character screen. This one allows you to level them up in the combat itself, which is, you know, a very... Like, it's probably a good idea for idle games, since it just allows you to keep grinding without having to move outside. You know, that's all fine. The problem I have with the game was, one, I got sad that I didn't get the centaur because it's not in the gacha. You know, but that's not really a problem with the gacha, you know, that's just, you know, it's a limited character. That'd be like me being, going to FGO and being mad that I can't roll for Kama because, you know, her gacha has already gone past. You know, that doesn't make any sense. The problem is just, I don't know if you guys have noticed, there are barely any sound effects in this game. Which you might think is nothing special. But it's kind of... But I don't think people understand how much sound effects play in making a game feel good. I'm gonna click the cathedral. I want you to notice if you hear anything. You heard that? That was a little sound effect when you click it. When you click the building. There we go. And if we click on the home, there we go. Another sound effect. These sound effects are very minor, but they're very important. I know. I've never released a game, but I have tried making games in the past using RPG Maker. And let me tell you, the difference between having no sound effect and having a sound effect is a lot, especially for immersion. If you have no sound effect, like it looks very minor, but it does actually it does lower the immersion for the players. Regardless, though, the bigger problem I had was the gacha. Right? The bigger problem I had was by far the gacha, because the gacha, when I go here, the art is still like really good though. But by the way, I still think the art is fantastic. So now here we're gonna do a roll, right? We're gonna do a gacha roll here, 10 roll, because guys are gonna understand like how underwhelming the gacha is. I'm gonna click on it now. I'm gonna click on it. Here we go. I'm gonna ask you this. Did that feel good? Did that feel good? Did that feel bad? Or did that just feel whatever? That felt whatever. It didn't feel bad. It didn't feel good. It just felt like a meh moment. It's like nothing happened. No sound effects, no like special animations. Like, we're not even gonna change the soundtrack that's happening. We're just gonna shove the cards in, and here they are, the results. And now me in the future put in like 10 gacha from another game to show like how much the other games can make you excited for the gacha. And I think that's important. It's important, in my opinion, to make the gacha like exciting, because that's the whole point of having a gacha system. Why would you have a gacha system if it doesn't feel good? You always want your gacha to feel good. If your gacha doesn't feel good, then why even make a gacha game? Like, let's not pretend that gacha games are not just, you know, gambling games. Like, the whole point of making a gacha game is that you are abusing the fact that it is targeting people that like to gamble. Like, that's ultimately what gacha is. And gambling has a very well-studied method of doing gambling. And you need to make the whole process exciting. And this process is not exciting. It's just very underwhelming. It's just whatever. You know, whatever happens, I got it. It's so easy to fix this. That's kind of the thing that kind of blew my mind. It's like, it's so easy to fix this. Like, just... Okay, you can't add new animations right now because, you know, that requires time and whatnot. Sure, understandable. Add new sound effects, right? Just add new sound effects. So, for example, a very good example, right? I'm gonna click here, and you guys are gonna see if there's a sound effect. You heard that? That's a sound effect. How about we add into the code, you know, X amount of seconds, right? So that sound effect goes off, and then you add X amount of seconds, and then after those X amount of seconds are passed, you add in the trigger for another sound effect to happen, where it goes like, shows all the cards, and then every time I click a card, there we go. Simple. Just made this a lot more exciting just by adding my own dumb sound effect. And then if you get a really good one, hey, you could even add an even better sound effect. There is already a trigger when you click here for an animation to occur. So it's just, all you have to do is to just add the soundtrack to that trigger, so that when you click, trigger goes off, animation goes off, and then sound effect goes off, or sound effect goes first and then the animation, however you want to do it. Like, this is not like that complicated. Like, this is like stuff you can do this in like a couple of seconds. Like, the hardest part is getting the sound effect to do this. It's just to get the sound effect, but you can do that. Like, you could just go by stock sound effects, you know, that are free to use if you really want that. It's like, it's you know, it's like, that's kind of what my issue was. And all of that coupled with the fact that the gameplay is just, you know, it's an idle game, which is not like very inspiring. And then the other issue I had was the animations, the quality of the characters, which I find to be, or better yet, let's look at Vina, right? Vina's design, you know, this looks fine, you know, it's not amazing, you know, but it's passable. You know, I'd say that if you had this model in a game, most people would be fine. Does it look old? Yes. Does it look dated? Yes. But, you know, it's like, this is not a AAA game. This is an indie game. I think this is made... Spain! I think this is made by, like, a very small group, or, like, one person. I don't know if it's one person or a small group, but I imagine it's a small group, so... I guess it's fine. But then you go to a higher rarity and you see this, and it's like, okay, now it's getting annoying, right? Because it's when you start seeing difference in quality within the game where I feel like the game starts feeling bad. Now, if this was just a situation where higher rarities had higher quality, and lower rarities didn't have as much quality, you know what? I would actually be fine with that, because there's plenty of games that already do that. The problem is that that's not even the situation. The situation is that you have models that look dated. You have models that look garbage. And you have models... Not this one. Where is it? I think it's you. That look fine. And they're all in the same rarity. I think this one... Actually, no, this one. Yeah. Spinny spin. Go round, round. Oh, that's funny. The nose lacks... Oh, man. Dude, just add like a tech... Just add like... Literally just grab your paint, put a line there, and you improve the model by a lot. Because the design is already there. Anyway, I mean, for example, I think this model looks actually really good. You know, yeah, the hair looks a little bit, you know, bad. But, you know, like this model, right? If you could look at all the models I've shown you from this class, right? She's like the one that looks the best. And it's the fact that you have this variety within the same rank that I think the game just kind of like takes a bit of an L. Right, because there's potential here. There's potential. For example, this one looks pretty good. This one looks really good. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this one looks good. This looks the same quality. Yes, it's a simple design, but who cares? It looks good. And then you get this. Like, what the frick is this nonsense? And they're in the same rarity. That's the issue. If it was just a situation where higher rarities had better quality than lower rarities, you know, it'd be whatever. Lots of games do that. Oh, hello. You want better quality? Buy the skin. Oh my god. This kind of reminds me of the Udyr Spirit Guard situation before the Udyr got the rework, got the visual update. Oh man, that's something, all right. And that was one of the reasons why I was very like disheartened by the end of the video, because you know, like there are like decent models here, like especially like up here in the SPs and the double S's. You know, they're all very good models. They're all very good designs, but very clear you also have stuff here that's just like, man, this is like... For example, this model... I feel like this model is on the same level of like quality as the lower ones. And I think the reason why that is because this is an old model, and newer ones are better well developed, right? Because you go to the... Yeah, you go to the skins and it's like you see an immediate improvement. Even like this one, which is free to get. Like this is like the same quality as the Centaur. Maybe it is their first game, and maybe that's why it happens. You know, but it's like, I feel like after a year of developing this game, I feel like that would be one of the things you would add immediately, you know? Kind of like how FGO, you know, started off with barely any features, and then over time added a lot of features. And I feel like those sound effects would be some of the first things you do, because they're so easy to do, and they're also so obvious to do. And the fact that it's been like over a year, and there's still no sound effects, it's like, man, what do you want me to say? Like, it's bad. Now, is the game like shit? No. Like, obviously there's passion, you know, I don't want to... When I talk to... Like, at the end of the day, I don't want this game to fail. I don't want this game to, like, be garbage. Obviously, you know, I want the developers to enjoy making this game, to make into the vision they think they think they want it to be. But I also don't want to hide the fact that I was very disappointed while playing this game. It's very underwhelming. And that's the word. It's not that the game is bad. And it's not that the game is like overtuned or annoying. It's underwhelming. Nothing feels exciting. You know, I should feel excited when I enter the gacha. I should be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna gacha. You know, the soundtrack should change and be like, yeah, now we're like in the summoning area. Yeah, you're gonna roll. Yeah, now we're gonna add a really like upbeat, maybe not upbeat, but like, you know, dramatic. Oh, you're gonna get the character, or maybe not, kind of soundtrack. No, you go to Battlefield. Change it to like adventure music so you feel like you're actually adventuring. You know, you enter the world. Okay, they actually do have another soundtrack. I just heard it. Okay, so they have 2 soundtracks. Okay, my mistake. They have 2 soundtracks. You know, which is fine. The sound effects here are louder than the soundtrack. I feel like the soundtrack should be higher than the sound effects, but you know, that's probably something you can adjust in the options. Okay, this is the 3rd one. So there's a first soundtrack for the boss. And then they go back to the mellow music. And then back to the adventuring. Okay. So there's at least that I can see, there's 3. Let me see if they're in the tower. Does it change to the combat one? It changes to the combat one. Okay. And then immediately go back to the mellow. I feel like the mellow music is just used so much. Way too much. And it kind of just makes everything... Because, like, this is a very chill music. This is what I would call a lo-fi music. Like, this is a music you hear when you want to relax. When you kind of just want to, you know, grab your coffee, just chill to a music, you know, write some stuff. You know, it's very chill, very calming, very soothing. Which I think it's fine for, like, you know, a menu area. I think it's perfectly fine for a menu area. But I don't feel like it's fine for other parts of the game where, like, the gacha or, you know, right after a combat immediately change to the mellow music. I also is not a very good idea because you're immediately, you know, you're going from, you know, adventure, exciting to chill. And it's like, do you really want to go from that drastic immediately? Like, just immediately go down. You know, and all of this might sound like nitpicks. But there's a reason why a lot of these low-effort games... Like, there's so many low-effort games, right? Isekai Waifu, or whatever it was called. Isekai Slow Life. You know, that type of games. All of those are so low-effort. They try so little. But they always do those things, right? They never fail at making, you know, the sound effects sound exciting and the soundtrack sound, you know, epic, so that you feel your blood pumping as you're playing, you know, playing in quotation marks. You're not really playing, you're just clicking buttons, pressing buttons, but, you know, they make you feel excited while you're going through the game. And there's a reason why they do it. It's because it works. And this game, you know, I can tell that there's, you know, this is not just, this is not like those games. You can tell that this game has considerably a lot more work done to it. But the fact that it doesn't have those simple, like, sayings, to me, baffled me. It baffled me. Which is why I had that opinion. And I still maintain the opinion that the game is by far the most underwhelming gacha I have played. That said, how would I fix this? Simple, just add the sound effects. Add the, you know, I enter the gacha, change the soundtrack immediately. Right? The moment I enter the gacha, the soundtrack should change. Be something more, I don't know, dramatic or epic. Oh my god, you're about to get the character you want. Are you excited, summoner? You know, you click the button, it adds sound effects. You know, you click the buttons, more sound effects. You know, you need an explosion here when the crystal explodes. You know, you need sound effects when the cards are flipping. You need sound effects when you get an S rank. And you need a sound effect when you get an SS. And you need another one for when you get the SP. Because you gotta make that feel amazing when you do it. When you get them. You know, stuff like that. And, you know, maybe with the auto flipper you remove them. Because at the end of the day, if you click in the auto flipper, you're kind of just going through it fast. You know, kind of like this one. You know, you click 50. You know, you don't really care about the effect. You kind of just want to go fast. But, you know, make the other things, you know, exciting. And I feel like that's something that's very easy to do. At least I feel like it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But I feel like that's something that's simple to do. I think the hardest part about doing that would be getting the sound effects themselves. Because the inserting them into the program, unless it's a spaghetti code, should not be that difficult. At least not with my knowledge. I don't know what... I mean, this uses Unity. I don't know how Unity works. I heard it's simpler to use than most others, but, you know, I could be wrong. I'm not a programmer. So, you know, I could be talking out of my ass. But I feel like that's something that's easy to do. You know, and that's just, you know, that's something that's very easy to do. Simple, and I feel like would immediately make everything... Well, not everything, but at least... in the gacha department would make it feel more exciting. I'm not gonna say that every character should... I'm not gonna say that every character should, you know, should look the same quality. You know, I wish that it was that simple. I know that this game is very clearly not... Like, I'm not gonna ask that the goblin looks... I'm not gonna say this goblin should look as good as this character. I'm not gonna say that because at this point it's unfeasible. Should the goblin look as good as that character? Absolutely. Absolutely. If all of your assets do not look the same quality, then you shouldn't... Why does this goblin look better than the other one? Dude, there's even a this goblin has more detail than this one. See, like, stuff like this is just, like, baffles me. Like, why is there a difference in quality for both? Right? If they were all the same quality, I wouldn't have this issue. Now, again, I'm not gonna say that they should... Again, like... This one has more detail than the other one. It's very minor. These are very minor details most people are not going to notice because most people are not even going to use these characters. And again, if your idea of a gacha is low rarities don't matter because they're never going to be used, fine. Make them unappealing. But don't make characters appealing. Don't make appealing characters and then, like, and then make their... Because here's the say, like, look at this. If you're gonna make a character not appealing, at least make the character completely not appealing to use, right? It's like, look at this art, man. I want to use this character. It looks so good. It really does look good. But then it's like I mean, it's not terrible. You know, it's like... It could be worse. It's kind of funny that she has a monocle, even though the art does not have a monocle. That's kind of funny. Like, it doesn't look terrible, but... It's when you put next to better qualities characters where, you know... Okay. Okay. Where I start having problems. So, my opinion to this is, look, I get it. You can't fix the models. That would be too much work. But maybe fix some of the textures. I feel like this model is fine. It's just some of the textures here are a little bit off. That's kind of what I wanted to say. I think some of these designs, especially the higher rarity designs, fantastic. I really think, like... I am very impressed with the Centaur. I really am, because this is like uncanny valley territory with the Centaur. And I'm really impressed that they, you know, I still think that for most people this is going to be cursed. But for me, at least, I like monster girls. So, you know, I see this, I'm not like, it doesn't disturb me. And I think that it's a really cool idea. And I wish more games did this, where you can kind of change how they look. You know, and also like in the skins, this one doesn't have it. But we can go to the angel. The angel has it. Where's the angel? You have it. You know, where you have the customization here. I think this is also a very cool idea, where you could change and remove parts. I think that's something that's also really cool. So, like, I think there's good ideas here. I just wish they were more polished, and that's kind of it, right? I just wish they were slightly more polished. And again, I think some of these designs look really good. It's just a shame that not all of them look that good. I guess the problem is the inconsistency. And most gachas allow you to select a character to always be present. And, you know, I feel like that's also something that could be added to add a little bit more interest. You know, it's like, that would be something I would probably add, right? If I was making my gacha, that would be one of the things I do. Like, if there's a menu, a home screen menu, I'm adding the ability to allow you to choose a character to always be present, so that you can always see them. You know, maybe in the corner. At the end of the day, I just play for fun. I'm just a random guy who likes gachas. You know, I'm a guy that has not a gambling addiction, but has a gacha addiction. It feels very underwhelming to play this game. It just feels very underwhelming. But yeah, that's what I had to say. My piece on the matter.